So if you notice in my videos, I usually don't have shoes on. Now in the last one I did have my shoes on just to give it a try, but frankly, I'm not used to working out with shoes on because I've been teaching yoga for such a long time. And I think that's an advantage for the most part because working out in bare feet requires that your ankles and your feet stay strong and the shoes aren't doing the work for you. However, of course, in some exercise situations, you want to have those shoes on to protect your feet. So either way, whatever you're comfortable with, shoes on or shoes off, but you're going to see me without shoes on probably the majority of the time with my videos. Now, I want to go through a really cool exercise that's great for leg strength as well as balance practice. I've got a yoga block here, and if you have one, it's a really useful tool, and I'm going to recommend you get one because I'm going to be using it from time to time in my program that I'll be introducing you to. So, but for today, if you don't have one, you don't really need it. It's just a useful thing to maybe keep in mind. Since I'm in bare feet, I'm going to stand on this mat and I'm going to place the block right in between my shins. Now the reason I've got the block there is because I want to squeeze into it, and that's going to make these inner leg muscles active. So if these inner leg muscles are lazy, the block drops, and once you learn to use those inner leg muscles, those adductor muscles, then you're going to be a lot stronger. So we want to use as many of our muscles as we can. So squeezing against the block teaches you to activate these inner leg muscles. We bring the hands up onto the hips, and my knees have just a little bit of a flex to them. If I turn, you can see knees just a little bit flexed, pushing hard into the block. I'm going to lean forward into the balls of the feet and then slowly lift the heels off the ground. And at first, it may be hard to get those heels to lift. So you might want to grab onto something, and that's going to make it much easier. So I've got a bar here, obviously it's very convenient, but just putting your hand on a wall or on a counter would work great. And then we lean forward, and that's going to help you to get those heels up higher. And if your legs aren't very strong yet, you may find that getting them to lift is very difficult. So just putting a hand on something makes a huge difference. Or if you don't think you need the wall, that'll be fine too. I'm just going to lean forward, squeeze tight against that block, and then pull the belly in tight, and I'm going to lift the heels off the ground. So as the heels come up, I'm squeezing the block tight, and I'm just going to see if I can bend the knees a little more, lift the heels a little more, and then I'm going to see if I can keep squeezing the block and come all the way up. Belly is pulled in very tight. I'm squeezing my bottom muscles as well, and then lower down. So that's actually a lot of work. Great for balance, great for leg strength. So again, hold on to something if you need to. We'll go through it again. Take a deep breath, pull the belly in tight, squeeze that block. I'm going to lean forward, lift the heels, bend the knees, maybe go down a little lower this time. I'm really getting my heels to lift, squeezing tight all the way up, and then release down. So once you get used to having the block in between your legs, it actually makes it easier because, again, it's making you use more of your muscles. So without the block, I'm going to try to do this. We'll see how I do. It's just harder. But I'm going to try to get the same effect. So even though the block's not there, I'm still pretending that I'm squeezing against it. Well, not pretending. I really am. I'm wanting to feel these inner leg muscles active, just as if the block were still there. So let's see how I do. I'm going to lean, pull that belly in tight. I'm squeezing every muscle I can find as my heels lift. Belly pulls in. Keep breathing. I'm squeezing in, lifting up, and lowering down. And again, if you find that difficult, really want you to put your hand on something. Make it much easier. If your heels are hardly coming up at all, like mine are here, then you need to hold on to something so you can get the heels to really lift up. So from the front side, without the block, I'm not letting the knees collapse in. I'm keeping my knees hip-width apart. Feet are hip-width apart. Belly in tight. Lean, lift. Now I'm really squeezing in. I keep squeezing my legs as tight as I can. and then slowly lower down. So this exercise really teaches you how to use your muscles as much as possible. So that muscle to bone energy is what I call it. Isometrics. Use your muscles against your bones to make yourself stronger and being able to do an exercise like that. I'll see you next time.